Hello everyone and welcome to another Shrewsbury Town in the Community live maths lesson with me, Mr. Brown. Hope you're all safe and well at home and keeping busy. So today we will be moving on from last week where we looked at some games to work on our addition skills. So this week we will be looking at some games where you can use your subtraction skills. And this week we have another special guest join us. We've got Evie, who's been doing lots of maths with us over the last few weeks. So we've got Evie with us again. Give us a wave, Evie. You okay?
Yes, thank you.
Good. Okay. So like we said, we looked at lots of addition last week, and we're going to have some new games this week to look at our subtraction skills. So if we move on to the first slide, these are some of the things you will need if you're going to be joining in with our game. So you'll need a pen, you'll need a piece of paper, and your piece of paper will need to be folded in half again, and then folded in half one more time. So it has 8 sections. Okay, and then once you've done that, you're going to put numbers in each of those parts of your paper between 1 and 10. Okay, so that's how to get your paper ready. For the second part of our lesson, you'll need a ball, you'll need a coin or a counter to throw, and then some plastic bottles or anything that you can use to knock over for some bowling. Okay, so if we move on to the next slide and look at some of our outcomes for today. So we will be looking to subtract pairs of 1 and 2 digit numbers, and then we might also be using some of our fundamental movement skills too. Okay, but before we get started on our games, we'll do a quick warm-up. So we have a Super Movers video just to get us some practice at counting up and counting down. Okay, feel free to join in at home.
Shall we learn about counting? Let's get the ball rolling. Let's count in once from 1 to 20. Then back again, 20 to 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And back again. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Counting is easy, peasy, easy. Counting is easy. Counting is easy, tweezy, squeezy. Counting is easy. Now let's count in twos, the tricky twos, from 2 to 20 and back again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We just had 2. 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. And back again. 20, 18, 16, 14, 12. We're just taking off 2. 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. Counting is easy, peasy, easy. Counting is easy. Counting is easy, tweezy, squeezy. Counting is easy. Let's count in 5s in multiples of 5, from 5 to 50 and back again. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. We just had 5. 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 and back again. 50, 45, 40, 35, 30. We're just taking off 5. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Counting is easy, peasy, easy. easy, squeezy. Counting is easy. Let's count in tens from 10 to 100. And back again, 100 to 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. We're just adding 10. 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And back again. 100, 90, 80, 70, 60. We're just taking off 10. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Counting is easy, peasy, easy. Counting is easy. Counting is easy, tweezy, squeezy. Counting is easy.
Okay, fantastic. Really good warm-up, Evie. Okay, so if we move on to look at our first activity. So, for our first game, our game is called Countdown, okay? So for this activity, you'll need your coin and you'll need your piece of paper with your numbers in each section. Okay, how to set your game up. Once you've folded your paper, so it's got 8 sections, and you've got your numbers in there, you're going to place your piece of paper down on the floor and then take about 2 steps back. Okay, so once I've placed my piece of paper down on the floor, I'll take 2 steps back. Now, we'll start off with our score as 20 for this first round, okay? So if we move on to the next slide and look at how to play. So we'll pick a multiple of 10 as our starting score. So we'll start with 20, okay? And we're going to have a go at throwing our coin onto our paper. And whatever number your coin lands on, you will take that away from your starting score, okay? So for example, if my score is 20 and I throw my coin and it lands on number 5, our number sentence will be 20, take away 5, and our score is counting down, okay? So Evie, have a little go, I'll have a go, and then we'll find out what we managed to score. Okay, Evie, did you manage to land your coin on yet?
Yes.
Okay, what number did you land on?
1.
Okay, so your score, what would your score be so far?
19.
19. I landed on 3, okay, so I'm on 17. Okay, let's have another go. Okay, so that time mine landed on 5, okay? So my number sentence for that first go would be 20, take away 5, which gives me 15. What was your number that time, Evie?
2.
2, okay, so you're doing 20, take away 2 for our practice go. Okay, what would the answer be?
18.
Perfect. Okay, so now we've had a little practice and we know how to play. We'll move on to our next slide. Okay, and we'll have a little look at our challenge. So, Evie, me and you are going to play against each other. Okay, what number shall we start with as our multiple of 10? So, instead of 20?
30.
Okay, so we'll start with 30. Okay, and this time, what we're going to do is we're going to keep having lots of goes. Okay, and each time we're taking our numbers down. Okay, so if we started with 30 as our score and I threw it on number 5, I'd be down to 25. And then if I threw a 4 the next go, I'd do 25, take away that number. So we're working down. Okay, we'll see who can try and get to 0 first. If you get to 0, you are the winner. Okay. Are we ready?
Yep.
Okay, so we're starting with 30. Off we go. 4, 3. Okay, so I landed on 3, so I'm on 27. 7 that time. 20. Oh, 3 again. 17. Oh, I missed. Oh, and again missed. Oh. Evie, what number are you on so far?
1.
Oh, mine keep rolling off. Oh, and again. Yes, 2. 2 again.
You've done it.
Oh, you beat me. Mine kept falling off every time. I was still on 13. Okay, so now we've had a go and we've got our game. If we move on to the next slide, these are some of the ways we can change our game. Okay, so if we want to make it easier, we could start with a lower score to begin with. You might use a pen or pencil to write it down. Or you might move the paper a bit closer to you. But me and Evie, we want a challenge. Okay, so one of our challenges could be that we start with a higher score. It could be that we use a number that isn't a multiple of 10 to start with. Okay, so for this round, instead of starting with 30 as our score, we are going to start with 25. Okay, so Evie, our score is 25, and that's what we're going to count down in. If you manage to win and beat me, let me know. Ready, off we go. 4, 9. Ooh. 13. I'm on 9. Now I'm on 4. Oh, missed. Oh, I'm on 2. Got 2 left.
I've done it.
Oh, just as I landed on 2 as well. You beat me by 1 second. Okay, well done. Okay, so if we go back to our challenge, if we go back to our slide where it looks at how we can change our game, we'll have a go at one more. So this time, what we might do is on our piece of paper, instead of having numbers that are between 1 and 10, I might change one of my numbers. So I've added a 10 to my 2, so I've got 12 on there now. Okay, and I also might add a 10 to my 3. So instead of 2, I've got 12, and instead of 3, I've got 13. So I've got some bigger numbers on there now. Okay, what we'll do, we'll start with 30 again for this one, okay? But if you land on some bigger numbers, you might be able to win and get there quickly. What numbers on your piece of paper have you got, Evie, now?
18.
Good, yeah.
19. 10. 7. 2. 1. 5 and 3.
Perfect. So you got some big numbers on there to try and beat me quicker.
Yes.
Okay, we'll have one more go then. This time I'll see if I can beat you. Okay, you ready? Off we go. Oh, missed. Oh, and again. Hasn't scored any yet.
I've done it.
Oh! I'm going to blame it on my coin, Evie. It kept rolling away. So, did you land on any of the bigger numbers you had?
Yes.
Were you aiming for those?
Yes.
Yeah, to get there quicker. Okay, really good. Okay, so that's just one of our games that we're looking at today. Okay, if we move on to the next slide, there's a question on there that will get us thinking about how we work those things out. So, Evie, have you got a method you use to do your taking away, or did you do it all in your head? Or
Well, if I had a bigger number, then I would normally add the smaller number onto that bigger number.
Okay, and if you've got a number that's like 12, for example, and you're taking away 12, do you take away the 10 first, or do you take away the unit first?
I take away the units first.
Okay, and then you finish with your tens.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, right. So our second game, our second activity today is called subtraction striking. Okay, now for this game, this is where you will need your ball and your plastic bottles, and we're going to play a game that's a little bit like bowling. Okay, so to set our game up, you'll need to position your bottles, one and then two next to each other, a bit like you'd see at a bowling alley. Okay, so you'll have two bottles next to each other and one in front. Okay. Now, just like our last game, we'll pick a score that we're going to start with, and we were going to knock over our bottles to take away our score down to 0. Okay, so for this first one, we'll say that each bottle is worth 1 point. Okay, and we'll start with our score as 10. Okay, so every bottle you knock over, you're taking away 1 point. Okay, how many bottles have you got, Evie?
7.
Oh, you got lots. I've only got 3. Okay, so when you've got your bottles set up, stand at the opposite end of the room. Okay, so you're looking towards your bottles, and then to start with, we'll have a go at rolling. Okay, see who can get from 10 down to 0 the fastest. Okay, we ready? Off we go. Oh, 1 point. So I'm down to 9.
Done it.
Oh, that was quick. Okay, well done. Really good. So now we've had a little practice go. Okay, we'll look at some ways to change our game and make it a little bit more challenging. Okay, so if we move on to our next slide. Okay, so we've played against each other. Okay, for this round, okay, we're going to give different points to some of our different bottles. So this time, my bottles are going to be worth 2 points each. Okay, you can have yours worth 2 as well if you want. Okay, and this time, what number shall we start on? A bit of a bigger tens number.
20.
Okay, so 20. Okay, and each of our bottles is worth 2 points. Okay. Okay, when you've got your bottles set up, Evie, let me know.
Okay.
Okay, are we ready? So they're 2 points each. Ready? Off we go. Oh, so far. 6. Oh, I need one more. Yes, and I'm finished. What score were you on, Evie? Or had you finished as well? Have a look how we're getting on. You finished, Evie, yeah?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, so one other way we might change our game then is if instead of rolling it, we might throw our ball. Okay, or we might give each of our bottles a different number. So it might be that one's worth 1, one's worth 2, one's worth 3. Okay, so for this game, pick 3 bottles. So you'll use 3 and I'll use 3. And then the one at the front, we'll say that one's worth 3 points each, okay?
Yep.
The one on the side, one of them's worth 2 points and the other one's worth 1. So we've got a 3-pointer, a 2-pointer and a 1-pointer, okay? And this time we'll start with our score on 25, okay? So we're counting down from 25 and we've got 3 points, 2 points and 1 point. Okay?
Yep.
Okay, and let's go. Oh, so I've got a 3-pointer and a 1-pointer. So I'm on 21. Another 3 points and a 1 point. 17. 3 points and a 2 points. I'm on 12. Oh, didn't knock any over. Still on 12. I'm on 6. Now I'm on 4. Oh. I'm on 3.
Done it!
Oh, I had 1 point left. You just beat me. Okay, well done. Okay, so if we move on to our next slide. Okay, so using our game we've just had a go at there, if you're at home and you've got someone to play against, you might want to play 1 versus 1. So you can have 3 bottles each, choose how much they're worth, and you can take it in turns, rolling it at each other's pins to try and knock over, okay? And then you keep your own score. So that's something that you can have a go and try at home. Evie, if you've got someone to play against at home, you might want to use this game later and see who can beat who. Maybe your brother or somebody at home. Okay? And then if we move on to our final slide. Okay, so hopefully during our games today, we've managed to subtract pairs of 1 and 2 digit numbers. Do we think we've done that, Evie?
Yep.
Yeah, we've done lots of subtraction today. Okay, so that will bring us to the end of our PE lesson today. Evie, hope you've had fun.
Yep.
I did have fun, but I managed to get beat quite a few times, so it's a little bit embarrassing for me. But that must mean you're really good at your maths. Okay, thanks to everyone for watching at home, and make sure you check out our Facebook page next week for some more live PE and maths lessons. So big thank you to Evie, and make sure you stay safe at home and try out some of our fun games that we've looked at today. Okay, bye.
Bye.